I'll be right back. So, thought I'd come back on. Around the same time that I started watching Petty Furball. You guys don't know who I'm talking about. It's Jack and Pickles. I started watching this other show called La Vagabond, which is the same type of genre. That Patty Fairbank tries to pull off. And I'm telling you guys this because I want you to take a look at their last episode they got out today. It's called La Vagabond. And it's this couple that met on an oil rig, on an island somewhere in the Caribbean. They were on vacation. So Riley, he worked on an oil rig. And he had a dream to sail around the world. And Elena, she was from New Zealand. Well, they both were, but she was on the same island. And she was at a bar one night, and she was playing her guitar and singing. And they met. And it was basically love at first sight. 6-7 years later, they now have 2 children. Their youngest is like 5-6 years old. They started at the same time Petty Furball did. And they have 1.9 million followers. Now, the reason I want you to watch their last episode is because in that episode, that one episode alone, their youngest is 5 years old and gets his first set of shoes. Both the boys have long hair. Half the time they walk around without shirts on. They've been barefoot all over the world. They have lived on a catamaran since they were born. They have been subject to hurricanes, treacherous conditions, you name it. These little boys. And in this last episode here, they're actually on one of those zip ties that goes through the jungle on some obscure island. I don't even think they've got helmets on, for Christ's sakes. And it's not a, thing like it would be in the States or Canada where it's monitored for safety. So, and I've watched these people since the very beginning. They're getting ready when they first met. They're not married, even though she's Jewish. And, but I mean, she's really Jewish. Her mother's Jewish and her father. And the only time I've ever seen her cover her head is when she's had to go into temple or something along that line, or a Seder or something like that. Other than that, she doesn't, milk it for all it's worth. And as you'll see if you watch her, she's not dressed in the dead of summertime in pants down to her ankles and then a dress over top of it, and then, has her hair all done up in a Haitian type handkerchief meant to hold dreadlocks, to make a spectacle of herself. She doesn't do that. People can tell if you're real. And if you watch Riley and Elena, they're real. And in the same period of time that Jack and Pickles has been online, and Elena and Riley have become multimillionaires. And throughout all these years, I have never heard her say one bad word about anybody or anything. I have never heard him either. They've never disrespected each other. They're just genuinely nice people. But according to Analyzing the Internet Trolls, Jenny Rhodes, Jimmy Smith, Petty Furball, and Robin 2.0, their little boys are being abused. I've seen it where they've been on this, when they were first starting out and they were on the sailboat, they couldn't bath for days at a time. And boys will be boys. And yet those troll channels go after Chris and Holly repeatedly over the stupidest things. As if Chris and Holly are the problem. That nobody else raises their children like that. Well, maybe you should take a look at La Vagabond. Because there's never any safety gear. And Riley and Elena are good parents, at least what you can see online. But that's what has happened is Petty Furball triggered a bunch of really petty, fucked up people. And they formed groups. And if God does reward, or Moses, or whoever your deity is, well, you look at this and it's true. God rewards Chris and Holly, both of them separately. God rewards Elena and Riley, big time. But Petty Furball and Captain Lardass, not so much. And by the way, Laura, the only reason she's got you on that island is so you can work for her this summer. That's why she's got you there. I know. It all started out as you guys were besties and everything was going to be wonderful. 100%, I would be willing to put money down on it, that situation ends badly. Because like I said, you sit back, you watch a channel and long enough, and you get to see people. And one of the things you will realize is Petty Furball does nothing out of the goodness of her heart. It may look like that. She may tell you she's doing that, but in reality, she's getting something out of it if you look a little closer. Like I said, you just got to sit back and watch. And if there's one thing that Robin has always said, and she's absolutely 100% right on this, there's a lot of stupid people on YouTube. And you all belong to her channel. These are the type of people that believe that they can tell what's going on in your life while they're shut-ins. None of them work. They all have excuses. And that even though they're in their 60s and some in their 70s, when you're dumb when you're young, you're dumb when you're older. They believe that if they, do bad crayon pictures of you and AI them and put them on YouTube, that it's going to hurt your feelings. So childish their minds are. And they do it over and over and over. And they just make shit up as they go along. There's a lot of lonely people out there. And I'm sure a lot of people that follow these particular people are lonely. They want somebody to talk to. And they're not going to get that with me because I don't talk offline to people. They don't want the truth. They don't want the resolve. They want it to keep going. That's what they want. They want it to keep going so they have something to do. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I've gotten off the internet. I went away on vacation. A month or so ago, I went away for a bit. And I came back and Robin had patted herself on the back, believing that she had something to do with the reason I wasn't on the internet. Like, how fucking ridiculous. But this is how these people are. They just want to keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. And I, for the life of me, don't understand why they need people to like them that they don't even know. I don't understand that. Do you not have people around you that fulfill your social needs? Are there not things in your area that you can do to get yourself out there? Like just that silly cooking thing I did. Like what, if you did something like that, you'd come home tired, you'd be like, oh fuck. Last thing you'd want to do is sit up all night listening to Drunk Durr. And you would enjoy your day. And then on top of it, you might even come up with what I'm getting ready to embark on is, excuse me, making silly little cat toys. So when you guys come online and think you're doing something by bad-mouthing Chris or Holly, you're not. You're just making yourselves look stupid. Because if what you're claiming Chris Holly is an abusive parent or neglectful, then you're claiming Elena is also. and Riley. And there's 1.98 million people. Or sorry, 1.900 people that disagree with you. And I'm one of them. All the internet thinks of you guys is that you're nosy, fucked in the head people. That's it. And I mean, let's face it, Dar's next chapter in life is good. Dar's gonna, whether Dar knows it or not, she's transgendering. That's what's going on with her. I don't know if you've noticed all the beer, farting, talking, and nobody's gonna tell me, and all that shit. And she's getting up in Marty's face and her hair. Well, if Dar doesn't start taking her medication seriously, Dar's going to have a full-blown mustache pretty soon. But, I mean, I don't know. I would have to look up the effects of alcohol has with hormone medication. What it does, because I don't know, but I'd have to look it up. Yeah, so what am I going to call her? We're going to call her Drunk Der. You know, she's always going on about that one transgender, Lily Latino. We'll have to call her Transgender Dar. Transgender Der. But that's what's going on with her. And she's getting more and more outrageous. And her and Marty, like, if you go back and look at their shows originally, they're fucked. So, yeah, that's what I just wanted to point out, what hypocrites you guys look like. And how silly you look. My biggest laugh about the whole thing is y'all call yourself ladies. Yeah. You're broad. And I think this must be an American thing. You always talk, you know, Dar's always talking about, and Trolls always talking about having balls. You don't hear this come out of Canadians very much, and you don't hear it come out of English people at all. You know, oh, I've got balls. You don't have the balls. Balls have got to be the weakest thing God ever created, or the Creator ever created. You barely tap those things, and the guy's laying on the ground in a fetal position, screaming and crying. But for some reason, Americans seem to think you're tough if you've got balls. No, it's the opposite. Of course, I don't think a lot of Americans, well, I know Trump supporters anyway, they don't really, a lot of times, think about what they're saying. But yeah, every time, you know, one of the trolls go, oh, you haven't got the balls. Well, what's that supposed to mean? Because balls do not mean you're tough. Balls do not mean you're bold. It means you got a pack in between your legs that, you know, like I said, all you got to do is kick and the guy can't get up for a fucking week. I personally feel kind of bad for Drunk Der, that she got stuck with Robin. I really do. Because if Robin would have really cared about her, like, you know, I don't care what you say. Yes, Drunk Dur is a disgusting old pig, but she's a one of a kind. And if Robin wouldn't have fucking shut her down the way she did, Dar should have went viral by now. I mean, Dar's kind of like an X-rated, XXX-rated, or a white trash Roseanne. Nobody turns into that show because they love Dar or they think Dar's a good person or any of that shit. They tune into it to see what a mess she's going to make of herself. If the cops are going to show up. That's why she's always begging for someone to call the cops. Because her views go up if they do. And that's also why she's spending so much time on YouTube right now. Is because she's trying to get her watch hours up. Because watch hours is where you make your money. You only need 500 subscribers to monetize. But your money comes from watch hours. And right now, if you notice, Dar's keeping track of her watch hours. You can't believe fucking thing she says. Everything she says is lies. But if Robin wouldn't have stuck her nose in, Dar would have probably had at least 5,000-6,000 subscribers, if not more by now. Robin has not promoted her. As a matter of fact, Robin's held her back. And Robin's used her for attention. And Dar's too stupid to see it. But no. You people that come on every fucking day and talk about Holly's parenting, you just look like fools. You're targeting Holly for petty furball is what you're doing. And that's why petty furball's never going to get any bigger than what she is now. Because there'll be more people like me that see what she's like. There probably already is. Well, I know there is. And she's the same as Drunk Dur. She's got no new material. I mean, when you're at the point you're using your fucking daughter's baby, like, give me a break. You have no respect, none. You know, her of anybody, because she did it to Holly and Chris, should know how easy it is for somebody to get a hold of her daughter's name, address, her son-in-law's name. I don't know if they're even married. An address. Oh, maybe they are. And start doing exactly what she did to Holly and Elion, that little boy. But see how Petty Furball and her trolls, they're so focused on hating on Holly, they don't think at all what they're doing to that little boy. And that's why I have no respect for any of their kids or grandkids. None. Why would I? If you want respect, you got to give it, right? And none of it really matters. If they want to track, I think I've pretty much proven that you want to track someone to the ends of the earth. At the end of the day, on YouTube, it doesn't matter. I've proven that I can outdo their channels. I mean, they constantly are telling people, oh, I've had channels taken down. Yet, here I am. And I've got more subscribers, and I don't even put an effort into it. If I'd spent as much time on YouTube as these bitches did, I'd be rocking and rolling. But I'm just not into it. Now, when I first started, I really wasn't sure. But whether I wanted to go that route or not, but I don't. I know I don't now. If I would, I'd just take off on what I've got, but I don't want to. And I'd go back doing lives. I don't want to. It was fun, but once you figure it out, it's just a bunch of idiots is all it is. Darlene's right about that. And the other thing is, unless you're somebody like Holly, who's actually making money, and it's a job to her, there's no sense in doing it, and I don't need a fucking job. I've had enough. So anyway, that's all I wanted to come on and say. I put out 2 videos today. I'm feeling chatty. And that's another thing. When is the last time Mike's wife, Kathy, has been online? It's been a year, maybe? I don't know. And they still can't shut up about her. So I already know they're going to go on and on about me. I swear to God, I'm the most exciting thing that ever happened to them. And I'll be honest with you, I like the attention. I think it's funny that I can, these women, let me see, one's in Pennsylvania, one's I think in Ohio, the other one's on a sinking island. Jenny Rhodes says she's in California, but that's bullshit. And Robin's in Michigan. And all these women spend their quiet time in their homes thinking about me. I love that. Thank you. But anyway, I'm going to go. That's just kind of what I wanted to say is stop being fucking hypocrites. You're not fooling anybody. You're not impressing anybody. Nobody believes a fucking thing you have to say. You are just YouTube trolls. And Petty Furbag, you're the biggest one of all. Oh, Cucumber. I've got a troll. What must hurt, Cucumber? I'm not hurting. Are you? Things rough in your little life? Hey, Hungry, how's it going? Hey, I've been wanting to ask you. I remember when you said to me, Jesus, Cindy, how can you stand them talking about you? Because it's funny. I guess I can ask you the same thing now. Hungry, how can you stand them talking about you all the time? Because they're just, I know how. They're just idiots. They're funny. And if anything, it's going to help your channel grow. And Hungry, I was going to tell you, if there's any way that I can get a hold of you privately, I'll tell you how to jump your channel subscribers overnight to 200, to at least 300 in a month. If you want to get to 1,000, I can do that easily. I can tell you how to do it. But I don't want to tell you because online, because then I'm telling the trolls. I don't know whether you noticed, but I jumped my channel big time when it came to subscribers. I didn't buy them. And it's not like Robin's going to tell you it's because I took took pieces from other people's videos or whatever. That's not how I did it. But if you can figure out a way where I can get a hold of you, I'll tell you how to do it. Well, don't work too hard. I guess Cucumber left. Cucumber, why don't you want to play? Come on, be a good boy. Be a good boy. Come on. Come on, little troll. Let's play. Oh, Cucumber can't hang. Well, maybe next time, Cucumber. I will talk to you later. Bye now.